Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto had the most powerful Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto got his powers from a dying god over in Anime King 2, and enjoyed that guys. And also, stay tuned for another episode coming over Anime King, which I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, yes, you're not mistaken, you heard that right. I indeed have 3 channels: Anime King 2, and Making 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode start the intro. So the last spot we left off, we started with a flashback as Naruto was with his closest friend. His name was Inabi, as the both of them had grown up together, as he was Naruto's best guy friend. As the both of them were making their way, as Inabi was gonna join the team that was with Emiko, as he told Naruto that everything was gonna be fine. Even though Naruto had his suspicions, he had trust in his best friend and his sister as well. So after which they departed, as Inabi met up with Emiko. They arrived towards the scene after hours of making their way. As they arrived towards the castle, but something was wrong with the sensor. Didn't feel anything around. There was no one. The place was completely empty. This didn't make any sense, given that they were so deep in the territory of the Hidden Stone. Something was off. They tried to radio back to the communication center, but they were getting nothing but static. The earpiece were not working. Something was wrong. It was then that it started to happen. Ninjas started to approach from the far east with the Hidden Stone 2 Bijus. As the leader of this group said that their orders were to take down the Sharingan Queen of Konoha, as it seems like they had a deal with someone from the village. The way they were speaking as they attacked. Back with Naruto as he finally caught up to Shikaku and his group. Arriving there, Shikaku relayed what was going on, as Naruto and a small squadron made their way in the forest. Arriving, the Hyuga with them saw a few members, but not enough for them to warrant this amount of manpower. As they reported back to Shikaku as something was wrong, as Shikaku contacted the other group, as he heard the other man radio in saying that Emiko and the others were slowly taking over the area, and he told them that the job was done. Shikaku and Naruto was not concerned, seeing that this radio was secure, and only Konoha was the one that was able to tap into this line. They had made sure of that countless times. As Naruto went back and took care of all the small group around there, as they weren't not a big threat. But Naruto kept on feeling this nagging feeling as he interrogated one of the men. He told him that he didn't know more, but this was supposed to be a setup. As Naruto rushed back, upon arriving back to the scene, Naruto told Shikaku what he discovered, as he told the man to let him speak to Emiko, as he heard her voice. As he asked her a question that she couldn't answer. As Naruto moved, Shikaku gathered the others, but by the time that Naruto got there, he saw Inabi holding on to the dead Emiko. As there was the 2 members left, as they were trying to hold up a rock platform, which was being destroyed. Inabi then died soon after from blood loss. As Naruto's eyes shifted, seeing the death of his best friend and his sister, as it spiraled like a whirlpool. A monstrous ball was sent towards the 2 of power from the tail beasts that remained, as Emiko had slaughtered the 5 tails, as the 4 tails were the one remaining, as he sent a lava ball towards them. A black monstrosity rose up as Naruto said the word Susanoo. As it blocked the attack, the remaining forces looked forward as they saw death and destruction coming their way. They were told that they got to take down the Sharingan Queen of Konoha. They never heard anything about this one. But as the man told the tail beast to blow him to hell, Naruto snapped back to reality as he returned back to where he was. He informed Fukaku about what happened while he was coming here with the Fate Mother Uchiha. This was bad, Fukaku would say it. Whoever this was, he had a Sharingan, and he could cause unnecessary trouble for the clan that they don't want at this moment and cannot afford. So he told Naruto if this person was to show his face again, he should take care of it. As Naruto told him that he will. As he then spoke to Naruto about Itachi. As far as he can see, the academy was just holding Itachi back, and if he were to graduate soon enough, which he will, his sensei and his squad would just hold him back. They would stifle his potential. That is why he wanted Naruto to take Itachi on as an apprentice. After a little bit of discussion, Naruto agreed to do so. Some time passed as Kushina's birthday finally came around. It was wonderful, except he did not show. Minato had to go back to the office after. An envoy flashed in to get him with some important news. As he apologized to Kushina but he had to leave. She was standing on her balcony when Naruto finally arrived. As she and him had a talk, as she was angry at him. Not because of missing her birthday alone though. She tried and she tried so much. She just couldn't anymore, as she told him, if you want to be alone then he shall. But if he wanted her help as a friend, she would be here for him. His answer was obvious as she gave him back his necklace. As Naruto went away, it was then that a masked man appeared out of nowhere and attacked her. As Naruto was making his way home, a nagging feeling attacked him once again. The same nagging feeling that he got when he did not go back to make sure Emiko and Inibi was okay. As Kushina rushed to his mind, he thought it was because of him being so selfish to her. He decided to return. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself so to be in this new episode. Shikaku and his group finally arrived on the scene. What they came to see was none other than chaos. Shikaku-sama. As Shikaku's gaze was turned towards the four-tailed beast. The four-tailed monkey was dead, from what he could see. Its body was carved up. They had never seen a dead Jinchuriki before. But it didn't seem like it was in a host at the moment, considering that the beast was just lying there. Its four tails were sliced off. Its front hand was removed. Its eyes were missing. The beast's body was lacerated with cuts and stabs from something large from the wounds, as there was black smoke leaving the wounds. Shikaku looked around as he looked toward the sensor in the group. "Is anyone alive?" he said. "Yes, one, up ahead." "One?" thought Shikaku as he ran forward. The group following after him as he came over the hill. That is when he saw another onslaught of stone shinobis. All of them butchered in the worst way possible. Crushed to find pace. Heads and arms removed promptly. Chest cavities ripped apart. Legs torn off. All of them were badly and soundly crushed. Shikaku moved forward as he saw what he was looking for as he raised his hand, stopping the others. As he calmly walked towards the person in the center of all these bodies. There was two bodies that stood in front of him. Both of them hands were on their chests as they seemed like they were almost sleeping. As Naruto was looking up in the sky, in front of him was Inibi and Emiko. As Naruto watched as the rain started to cast straight down on his face, soaking his long black hair, as it dripped off him, dripping the blood off his face and his hands. Shikaku came as he stood beside Naruto. As no word was said between the two, until Naruto finally spoke. "This is my fault." "Don't say that," said Shikaku. "If anything, me being the commanding officer at that post, it's my fault." "I'm sorry, Naruto." "No," said Naruto. "We both know you and anyone there could not stop me if I wanted to come back. As Shikaku and the others knew that they knew that. As Naruto was a rather powerful individual, and they did not muster strength to stop him if he wanted to come back. But still, Shikaku believed that he was the one to blame. As Naruto looked up, the rain still coming down on him, soaking Shikaku as well. The radio station said Naruto. How was it tampered with? Konoha is the only one that was able to funnel their information through that station. For years upon years, that station has never been tampered with. Yet my sister, Inabi, and the others were here fighting for their life when I could have been here. My gut was telling me 10 times over to go. Even after I saw that the ninjas were nothing but a ruse, I stayed. If I had moved, she wouldn't have died. None of them would have died, said Naruto, as he looked down towards Inabi and his sister. The rage once again boiling up. But it left him so quickly, and just brought sadness. So my fault. As he gripped his hair in frustration and anger. As Naruto dropped his hands to the side, as he got stained in the mud all around him. Shikaku, you're the smartest person I know, said Naruto. I want you to find out what happened to the radio station. And who were those ninjas on the other side, feeding us false information. Because as far as I know, Konoha is the only station that's supposed to have this connection, said Naruto as he slowly got to his feet. What do you intend to do? Said Shikaku. Shikaku, let us pray that my sister was not sacrificed. What? How can you say that? Said Shikaku. Ninjas from other villages sacrifice their own to stop wars, to create peace. If my sister was sacrificed for a war that we could have stopped, you're gonna have to kill me, said Naruto. What? Said Shikaku, confused by Naruto's statement. You and the others are gonna have to chain me down and kill me. You're gonna have to inform the Hokage and every ninja that you have at your disposal to kill me instantly. Shikaku still couldn't understand. Your shadow won't do. It cannot hold me for long, said Naruto. You'll have to bring all of the heavy hitters to find a way to take me down. Call the Sanins. Send them all, said Naruto. Why are you saying this? What the hell are you talking about? I have served this village for my entire life. But Emiko means the world to me. Inabi was my best friend. He stuck with me through thick and thin. And Emiko raised me. Despite being my sister, she was like a mother to me. Seeing that I never got to know my own mother, said Naruto. And if she was sacrificed for this village, if her own village sold her out, if she was taken out by an order given to anyone from this village to tamper with those lines, as I said, Shikaku, you're gonna have to kill me, said Naruto. And if I don't? As Naruto turned to face the man, the group on the other side suddenly dropped to their knees. As Shikaku dropped as well, his face hitting the ground. Shikaku gripped his chest as he started to breathe heavy. Sweat creeped on his face despite the rain. As the ominous feeling was so immense, he felt his bones rattling. Shikaku felt like a hand had literally pushed through his chest and gripped his heart. You don't want to find out, said Naruto. As with the use of a clone, he took his sister and Inabi as he moved. A week passed after what happened, as the funeral was kept. A few of her closest friends had came that were not a part of the clan. Despite of her leaving the clan, saying that she would marry outside of it, all of the Uchihas were there to pay their respect. After all, her power and strength was something that were supposed to be acknowledged in the clan, and everyone respected the power and strength that she wielded, despite some of them might not liking her. Mikoto had cried. She may have not gotten along closely with Emiko as Naruto did, but she was still her sister, and she was gone. She would never see her sister again. Naruto did not speak to anyone at the funeral, and that was hard. Kushina was there and yet he didn't say a single word to her. She tried. She loved him. She just wanted to make sure that he was okay, but he was just so distant. And the look in his eyes, it did not remind her of Naruto that she knew. She understood that he just lost a lot. But this was not the time to be being by yourself. Being by yourself brings up a lot of dark thoughts. And that brought up a lot of things that most people didn't want to think about themselves in that way. At the moment though, Hiruzen was in his office. He has been grooming Minato to take over once the war was over. But Shikaku came to him with some troubling news. So the both of them had dig through the information. And yes, the barricade was attacked where the main supply information was. They were onslaught by a couple of ninjas that just freely gave away their life. And it was now that they realized it was just a trick for the team to tap into their information and tap into their communication and send these messages back. It was all a trick, it was all a setup. But for the Hidden Stone group to have so much information on what they were doing at the moment, trying to conquer the castle, and at this right precise time, and the fact that Emiko and her group did not call back in, for the group to be able to shut off their comms, it was kind of, well, the evidence seems like someone did from the inside. But Hiruzen refused to believe that someone would ever do something this disgusting against their village in this time of war. As Naruto stepped into the office, Hiruzen had a stern look on his face as he never got to speak to Naruto while he was at the funeral. The war was coming to an end, but the Hidden Stone just would not give up. Despite them conquering the castle, the Hidden Stone was back in the corner and they just would not give up. Only he was a stubborn bastard. "I've been meaning to talk with you, Naruto," Hiruzen said. He knew Naruto from he was a child. And he always knew that Naruto was meant for greatness. But a war can really change a person for darker ways. But Naruto never had a easy or good childhood growing up. So he was never really that happy-go-lucky. But the one person that could always put him in a good mood was Emiko. As she was like a mother/sister to him. Well, she was indeed his sister, but the mother part, he never really knew his real mother. And Emiko had been there for him, taking him like her own child. Despite her just being his sister, she took it to another level completely. Because their father did not care much for Naruto. After the events following his mother's death, the Uzumaki and the clan being angry at him for what he did. But Emiko did not care about that. He was her brother through and through, so she took care of him. I am appalled that you would think that I would let something like this happen, especially to Emiko and your best friend, Inabi. You know me, Naruto, Hiruzen said, as he looked towards him. And I would never allow something like this to happen. More than most people, you know what the Will of Fire is. You know what Konoha is based on. And it angers me to think that this was the first thought that came to your head. As Hiruzen tossed Naruto a file, who caught it. We were attacked. And that is how the information got out. How do they know then? Said Naruto. That I do not know. I will have to do some more investigation. But what you said, if anyone else were to hear about this, you and your clan would be under an investigation right now. Luckily, Shikaku only came to report it to me. I understand that you were upset, but saying such things like this loosely could have brought great problems for you in the future. But because I know what you're going through, I understand that you're in pain right now. I will forgive this, but if I ever hear this come from your mouth again, I will have your title stripped away from you. Do you understand me, said Hiruzen. While he respected and cared for Naruto, he couldn't have him speaking about bringing death and destruction upon Konoha, especially in these times. As Naruto stepped towards the man, Shikaku narrowed his eyes. As Naruto was not saying anything, Hokage-sama, said Naruto, his tone coming out so bland. You're one of the few people in this village that I respect. One of the few people that I know will never lie to me. You know me from when I was young, and you always teach me things, show me the truth, of many things that this world is trying to hide from us. This information, this closely, none of it makes any sense. Well, I'm sure that you have nothing to do with this. This run a lot deeper than you think. What? Said Harrison. You and I both know that the Uchihas have been isolated since the reign of Tobirama Senju. We all know that, so let's not try to hide it, said Naruto. Any problem or a clan is always the one to be put under suspicion, said Naruto. And while I know that you would never do something like that, some forces in this village doesn't even listen to you. And who would that be, said Harrison. I think we both know, said Naruto. And I want you to promise me this, that you would investigate this further. And I want you to literally tell me to my face that there was no inside job done, that this was all the enemy, that Konoha has nothing to do with this. Can you do that for me, said Naruto. As he looked towards the man, Harrison saw the broken look in Naruto's gaze and saw how much pain he was in. I will, said Harrison. If anyone is caught doing anything out of the way, we will deal with them accordingly, but do not go speaking such ill manner of the village. I will not allow it a second time. Do you understand me? As Naruto nodded, time skip as Naruto stood on top of the first Hokage's head as he looked down towards the village, as someone appeared behind him. You call me? I need your help, said Naruto. Naruto, are you sure that you should be? After all, we can mourn later, said Naruto. I need your special skills to help me in a little task. Alright, fine, the person said. End of flashback. As we escape back to the present time, Kushina leaped as a fireball struck where she once was. She broke right through the window as she dropped right in her backyard, as it was large enough. As her dress was torn, she ripped the bottom half of her dress so that she could gain mobility. I'm afraid I don't have time to play around. I'm gonna need you to come with me, the masked man said as he calmly stepped through the hole that he just created. As he pulled out 2 chains, as he cuffed them to his hand, Kushina narrowed her eyes. She was a censor, but this man's chakra was jumbled, like he was trying to hide something. He rushed towards her, his feet moving fast on the ground. Kushina was a trained ninja, as she hasn't been lacking in her skills either, despite settling down for a while now. She has been keeping up her training, not every day, but she was still a trained kunoichi. The man swung the chain to grab her, but she leaped as she twisted her body in mid-air. He lashed out with a hand, but Kushina twisted herself as her feet came down. She destroyed the background of her yard with a brutal kick. She was surprised because her kick literally phased right through him. The man reappeared behind her as he came out of the ground. She twisted her hand as it whipped through the air, but it literally passed through his head as he grabbed her wrists before yanking her down as he slammed the front of his mask into her face. As she stepped back, her head spinning a bit because of the blunt force. The man then moved as he delivered a punch to her stomach. Chain shot out of her body, forcing her to leap back as he vanished. Kushina regained her senses as she looked around, as she felt it once again as she turned, dodging a hand that tried to grip her as she jumped away, knowing that keeping the distance was the best thing. As her eyes focused sharply on the masked man, who moved towards her again, as he wasn't using the flashy jutsus anymore to cause any attention, but he seemed to be frustrated by the way he moved, as he hadn't been able to catch her yet. Kushina sidestepped his attack as she brought her feet around. She literally tore through the fence, as her kick destroyed it, literally passing through him. He ducked under her blow as he reached up. He gripped her throat. She reached out to touch him, but he released her throat as he flashed, moving behind her as he brought his hand around. But she brought her hand and braced herself as his hand dropped right on her shoulder. She was able to grip his hand firmly as she twisted him and threw him forward. She followed that up with a spinning kick, but she passed right through him as she destroyed the ground. showing the amount of power behind her attack. But this time he reached and he gripped her by the neck as he forcefully brought her head to slam it down to the ground. But he was not prepared, as Kushner heard a cracking sound. She felt his hand loosen around the back of her neck. As Kushner looked up just in time to see a feet right in the man's face. The mask shattered as he was thrown so roughly he broke through the gates as he crashed into the wall viciously. The man groaned in pain as his back cracked the solid rock wall behind him as his hands dropped to his side limply. As Naruto landed, "Are you okay?" he asked. Kushner righted herself. "Yeah, I'm fine." "We can't let him get away," she said. As Naruto turned his sights towards the man, a Sharingan swirling in his eyes. As Naruto moved, all for the masked man to suck himself away rather quickly, instantly getting out of there, fearing the fight that was about to ensue. Kushner cursed. "Damn it," she said. As Naruto turned towards her, "He was after you," said Naruto. "Yeah, he showed up right after you left." "How did you..." "Did he say what he wants?" said Naruto, not answering her question. "No, he said that he was just here for me." "But I think that is because of what I hold," she said, as she looked down towards her stomach. Naruto walked forward as he picked up the lower half of the broken mass. As he looked at it, as Kushner stepped towards him, "You seem to know more than you're letting on. Do you know this guy?" "No," said Naruto. "Did you know I was fighting him?" she asked. He shook his head. "Then why did you come back?" As Naruto looked towards her, "I have made my feelings clear to you." "Did you change your mind perhaps?" she asked, hoping that that was the case. "Look, Kushner," said Naruto. As Naruto saw a yellow flash arriving around the other side of the yard, the front of the yard, the person rushed around with several envoys behind him. "Kushner!" "Naruto?" said Minato. As he looked towards the two of them, "What's going on?" he asked. She rushed over towards him. "I was attacked," she said. "Are you okay?" he asked, looking over her. "Yeah, this strange guy in a mask showed up. He said that he was here for me. He tried to take me with him. I don't know how, but he was able to let me pass right through him. I couldn't even touch him like he was some sort of ghost." Minato gave a hand sign as the envoy started to flash around to check to hear what was going on. As he gave a glance over towards Naruto was simply looking towards the object in his hand. "What are you doing here, Naruto?" he said. "I came by to give Kushina a present for her birthday," said Naruto. "I guess I was right on time." "Do you have any clue who this man is?" asked Minato. "No," said Naruto. "But when I kicked him, I managed to take this off his face." As Naruto tossed the mask towards Minato who caught it. "Perhaps we can use this to track him. The Inazaka dogs probably might be able to get a scent," said Kushina as Minato nodded. As he turned towards her, they started to talk. "Well, you seem to have this under control. Good night, you two," said Naruto, as he started to walk away. "Wait, did you see anything that we can use to try and find this person?" "No," said Naruto. "All I saw was him fighting Kushina, so I intervened. But whoever he is, he doesn't seem to be finished with what he's doing yet," said Naruto. "So, I would keep a close eye on her, if I were you. You know I can protect myself, right?" she said. As she didn't like when people think that she was worthless. After all, she was a powerful kunoichi. "I'm sure that Naruto is just saying that you need better protection. I mean, you were the one that told me that the envoys were not necessary because the seals were able to keep you protected." "Yeah, usually they are," she said. "But somehow this guy was able to know his way around them. I don't want to say it, but the evidence is pointing towards him being in this village before. After all, he got straight in my house. Not in the compound, but in my house." "That is worrying," said Minato. "I will put an envoy bodyguard detail on you from now. Until we handle this guy, okay? I just want to keep you safe. Fine, she said. But I can handle myself. I know you can, he said to her. But just for safety. Naruto, he might come after you as well. Seeing that you managed to hurt him. If he does, it will be the last decision he ever makes, said Naruto. As he started to walk away. As he left, asked Minato to watch Naruto leave. Kushina trembled a bit as she was cold. He took off his coat and placed it on her, as she snuggled up into it, as he glanced towards his wife. Are you sure that you're okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just tired, she said as she yawned. It's been a long day. Are you done for today? Yeah, I am, he said. Come on, he said, as he brought her inside. I'm here now. Everything's gonna be fine. She yawned, as he helped her out the stairs. A distance away, as Obito arrived, he frowned as he unclipped the top half of his mask that still remained. I take it things didn't go that well. He showed up, Obito said. Who? Said Zetsu. The Knight, the Ghost. Whatever nickname they're calling him right now. But it's Naruto. As Obito fixed his jaw, that seemed to be dislocated, as he snapped it back in a place that winks, as he spat blood from his mouth. Damn it, he said. He's faster than ever. I wasn't able to see him coming, even though I was still focused on that woman. Those two have really sent my plan into shambles. I thought by now that a woman would have settled down to have some kind of children so I can take the betrayal from her when the seal is at its weakest. But that is not the case. Luckily, they still don't know who I am, so there's still a chance to get what I want. They're on to you now though. If you show your face now, Minato will definitely intervene, and not to mention Naruto as well. They're the only two that really pose a threat, Obito said, with their speed. But it does not matter. I will get what I want, and those two won't stop me. So, you're removing him from your plans, asked Zetsu. There's still a chance of him coming over to my side. He still has too much connections. His sister, his nephews, and that woman, he's still deeply connected to her. I could feel it in his kick. He was angry that I was fighting her. If I were to show my face in front of him now, there was no doubt that he would attack me. Have you gotten anything new, Zetsu? You know I can't get too close. Because of his Uzumaki side, his sensory ability is so powerful. It's short radius, but I can't get too close to even overhear what he's saying or much what he's doing except for seeing him practice. It's been a long while since he showed his eyes though, said Black Zetsu. Perhaps the Uzumaki heal inside is finally giving out, and he's succumbing to his effects of using his eyes so much in the third regional war. I doubt it, because of his damn Uzumaki genes. While not as powerful as Hoshirama Senju, because of his Senju genes, the Uzumaki genes are still powerful enough to keep his eyesight for long enough. After all, if it was any other Uchiha using and spamming techniques like that without some kind of backup, without Senju or Uzumaki DNA, he would have surely gone blind by now after what he did in the war. So what will he do now, said Zetsu. Like I said, he has too much connections, but I can't let him know that I will be the one intervening. So, I need to plan this out carefully. Time skip. As Naruto was lying down, it was then that he heard a crash. He frowned as he got up to his feet, as he already knew who it was. He heard another crash, as a person broke his window and came in. She slipped inside, as Naruto stepped in the hall. He was just in his long black shorts, his chest bare. As he looked at her with a raised eyebrow, she had a bottle of sake in her hand. As Tsutomu Inuyasaka looked at Naruto, as Naruto just looked at her with a raised eyebrow, not saying a word. I warned you. If you went back into this behavior, I told you there would be consequences. So here it is. Consequences. Let me guess. You're the consequences, said Naruto. Damn right. If you won't come out, I'll bring the party to you, she said to him. So, get yourself ready for a night of wine and dining, she said. And what about my window, he asks. Oh, that's an easy fix. It's better than me kicking down your door. After all, which one is cheaper, she said, with a smile on her face, despite she just literally broke into his house. As Naruto sighed, as he wasn't surprised, he knew her attitude by now. It was not the first time that she did this. Well, it was the first time that she broke through his window. The last time, she nearly broke his door into pieces, when she had punched right through it, because she was knocking for so long and she got frustrated. Her Inuzaka temper was there. Sometimes it can get out of control, and this time she broke his window. As Naruto walked over, as he got 2 cups. And what if I wasn't home, he asked. This is your last week in the village. You're not on any missions or anywhere else. I checked your favorite spots, so I know you were here. You were just ignoring me. I know you heard me calling you out there. I was sleeping, said Naruto. As if. You're just pretending to sleep so you can just ignore me, she said. How do you know I wasn't really sleeping? Naruto asked her. As she shrugged. Even if you were. Come on, let's drink, she said. I told you and I need to catch up 1-on-1. As Naruto sighed, he sat down. As he placed the 2 cups, as she poured some sake. As they started to drink. After a few shots of sake, she was getting a bit tipsy. On the other hand, Naruto seemed fine. He had a fast metabolism and he burned off the liquor quite quickly. But her on the other hand, she was already getting tipsy, judging by the way she was slurring her words, and the way she was almost falling every time she moved. You know, I really miss the old Naruto, she said. When you and I used to go out and hit the town. When we went on missions. And we always found a bar. And see who can drink the most. As Naruto looked towards her. Despite how it may look, Tasumi was his most close female friend. At first, they never really get along. Because she was always brash. Her wild attitude was always a bit too jumpy for his taste. But after going out on several missions, became good friends. And that relationship enhanced even more when his sister started dating Inuzaka. As he got to see more and more of her. As she was there a lot of the times. Whenever Kushina was out on missions, whenever he was out on missions, she became good friends with him. And they had went to several missions, several places, where they had drink a lot. Because of his fast metabolism, Naruto always enjoyed a fine sake. Her on the other hand loved the thing. Despite knowing that she'd get batshit drunk, she always loved to relax and just sip on some sake. But she always tried to make it into a contest between her and Naruto to see which one of them can down the most. Which he always won. Up to this day there was no contest that she won with him. As she placed another glass. I think you should slow down. She raised her eyebrow and what? You're not drunk, she asks. Not really, said Naruto as she frowned. A smirk came on her face as she grabbed the bottle. She then tackled him as she pushed him down to the couch. Open wide, she said as she started turning the thing right to his mouth, but he closed his mouth as things started to splash everywhere. Aw, you're no fun, she said as she turned it back up. Okay, said Naruto. That's enough horsing around. Her smirk increased as she punched him right in the gut. As Naruto winced a bit, opening his mouth as she placed the sake right down his throat, actually pouring it for him to get drunk. In her drunken state, she found it rather fun and hilarious. As Naruto got up as he coughed, she laughed before she started patting him on the back. Are you okay? You almost killed me, you psychotic woman, said Naruto. But it was fun, wasn't it, she said, with a big grin on her face. You know, I think as the more time passes, the more crazy you get. It's fun being crazy, she said. Settling down, having kids, becoming a mom. That is when your life changed and you fully grown up into an adult. But enjoying your time, having fun, that's awesome, she said. Well, no one stay young forever, said Naruto, as he started to feel the kick of the alcohol that she just poured in his throat, as it was quite a lot. But, as he said, he had a fine taste for it, and she still looked woozy as hell as she took another swig. She poured him a glass as he swig as well. Are you saying I'm old? She asked. Of course not, said Naruto. You still look the same way as when I met you. Oh, you flatter me, she said to him, as she took another swig of sake. You know, I really miss the old you. And the way things are going right now, I feel like he's never gonna come back. And maybe you're right, she said. Maybe it's time that I do grow up. Maybe it's time that we all grow up. After all, everyone else is changing and moving forward. Maybe I should do the same, she said. After all, no one can slow down life. It's moving so fast. As she turned towards Naruto, as she was holding on to the bottle, as she poured him another as he drank, as she poured herself one, she poured him another as she drank, as she poured him one, as she poured him another as he drank, as she poured him one, because he was drinking it down and she was literally drinking it from the bottle as he was drinking from the glass. But they still got him buzzed. After all, anyone could get buzzed from that large glass of sake. As she started to wobble on her feet, as she started to walk, as she was looking around for something that didn't make any sense, as she wasn't sure what it was. As Naruto got up, you're drunk, you should lie down. She turned, hey, who said I was? As she started to fall, he caught her as she moved, allowing them to fall right on the ground, as she dropped right on top of him. As she started to laugh, as I make him laugh as well. There you are, she said. You know how long I haven't seen that laugh? Well, I guess I have to get you drunk from now on to see you laugh, she said, with a smile on her face. She giggled to herself. You want to hear something fun? It's a secret, she said. Sure, said Naruto. What is it? As she motioned for him to come closer, which he could do, seeing that she was on top of him as he moved up, as she lowered herself. The reason I haven't moved on in my life yet is because I always had a big crush on you. When you got together with Kushna, it was a lot. But I still thought there was some hope. But I realized there were none. And I waste most of my life thinking that there might be a chance, but I never got any. So I just decided to be friends. But I never found anyone that I actually wanted to be with. Despite you being happy with Kushner, you were still on my mind. Quite messed up, isn't it, she said, as she giggled in her hands. As Naruto looked up at her. You like me, he said. Of course I do. I mean, what's not to like? You're powerful, handsome, cute. And not to mention from the stories that Kushner had told in the past, you're amazing in bed. The true alpha kind, she said. I was going to have you for myself, but I guess the world didn't turn out that way. But now, as she started to giggle some more, you're no longer with Kushna. But you're going through a lot right now, isn't that right? Yeah, said Naruto. I'm still going through a lot. Are you ever gonna recover? I'm not sure. Some say that it's because of my eyes. Huh? What do you mean, she said. The curse of hatred, said Naruto. Some say it's because of my eyes activating after losing someone so close to me. And that it's brought a pit into my soul that can never fully be closed, and I will never be the same again. So you're not gonna return back to who you once were? Nah, don't think so, said Naruto. Well, that's a bummer, she said. Yeah, it is. What are we gonna do? As she chuckled to herself as she pulled another bottle, but of vodka this time. We drink, she said. Well, I wouldn't mind that, said Naruto, as she started to pour him some and pour herself some as they drank. As the both of them fell off the couch in their drunken stupor, as she laughed at him before she punched him in the arm. Hey, what was that for? Still trying to see if you're tough. I mean, it's been a while since you did anything that make your name remarkable once again. Are you saying I'm not remarkable? Well, people do fear you, but I mean, that's a long time ago. What if you've gone weaker, she said. Come on, test me, said Naruto. Alright then, she said, as he spread his arms. She punched him right in the shoulder. Nothing, said Naruto, as she punched him in the other shoulder. Nothing, said Naruto. Oh, is that so? She moved forward, as she pressed her lips against his. As Naruto pulled back. Did you feel anything? She asked. Yeah, your lips. She laughed in her hands. So, I guess you're not as strong as you let on. Hey, that's not fair. I mean, that was different. Alright then, let me try it again, she said, as she moved forward and once again did it. This time though they fell, as the both of them started to laugh, before their lips started to lock together, as they entwined in a kiss. The kiss turned into groping, and turned into them removing their clothing. In their drunken stupor, things got rather hectic, as they passed the point of no return. Time skip. Ah, this is a life. Really release all of your stress, you know, said Mikoto, as she lay in the hot spring. As Tatsumi got into the water and relaxed, Kushina was next, followed by Saya, as she was the wife of Inoichi, and then it was followed by Yoshino, wife of Shikaku, as the women all relaxed in the bath, as they had planned to meet up, as it's been a while since they did this. Yeah, that's right, your boy is a shinobi now, but he's under the apprenticeship of Naruto, said Saya, so there's nothing to worry about. It's not like Naruto would let Itachi get hurt. I know he won't, but I'm still a mother, and I still worry. I just can't help it, said Mikoto. I'm sure they will be just fine, said Yoshino. You have to just knock some sense into them when they're younger, for them to be better prepared. How's your boy doing? Little Shika. Just as lazy as his father. So young and yet he's already watching the clouds. I saw the women giggle around them. Except for Tatsumi. Hey, everything alright, Tatsumi? Oh yeah, I'm fine. I just spaced out there a bit. I guess the water is just too nice. Huh, that it is, said Kushina as she relaxed back, as they talked about a couple of things. As Mikoto noticed that Tatsumi seems really out of it. She didn't know why though. Meanwhile that was going on, Itachi was thrown into a situation so quickly, as he was currently facing off against a group of bandits. There were 5 of them as they all surrounded him. Itachi ducked as it was a sword that came down that tried to slice him in half as he pulled a kunai when he jumped back to block a shuriken that was tossed towards him. It was thrown so clumsily as Itachi picked it up and tossed it. It hit the bandit right in his chest, knocking him down. The other one came in with a spinning kick as Itachi ducked underneath it, as he used the kunai to bury it in the man's leg. The man winced out in pain as Itachi jumped and kicked him in the side of the face, knocking him to the ground. The other 3 moved towards him as Itachi jumped away, performing hand signs before spewing out a fireball. It hit one of them as the other 2 separated as they rushed towards Itachi from the sides. As they both came in with their blades as Itachi jumped, delivering a spinning kick to both of their faces, knocking them down. Once again showing that ninjas are 10 times better than bandits, even though he was a kid. Well, he might be a kid, but he was different from most kids. A young prodigy, if one might say. But despite being a prodigy, he knew that he was nowhere close to his uncle's level, judging by the fact as he walked over towards the bandit camp as he saw around 50 bandits down. As in the center of the camp there was none other than Naruto, as he was holding a small child in his arms, as she was clinging on to him for dear life. Time skip. The both of them are returning back to Konoha after a mission well done. It has been a few weeks since Naruto took Itachi under his guardianship to become his teacher full time, as Naruto was just loving the freedom away from the village. No longer Minato trying to restrict his freedom. Another successful C rank completed. Do you think that we can go for a B rank? I was hoping that you would say A, said Naruto. Do you think I'm ready? No, said Naruto. Itachi was confused. Then why did you... I said I thought you would say A, which would have been a mistake. After all, you know what you're ready for. You know what you can take on and what you cannot. And that is a sign of a good ninja. Itachi smiled at that. Before he looked down. What's wrong? Well, I'm kind of holding you back. Because when you're alone you take on S-rank missions. And you taking on C-rank missions are, well, below your standards. And that's because of me. So if you want to, I can back out for a while. Come on, Itachi, said Naruto. I'm your teacher until you take part in the Chunin exams. Besides, while I go on missions a lot, I hardly get to spend time with you. So this is a good bonding moment. I thought you were having fun spending time with your uncle. Of course I am, Itachi said. I just thought I was holding you back. Oh, there's nothing for you to worry about, said Naruto. Come on. As the both of them move. As they pass by the trees, something emerged after a few seconds. A sapling of a white Zetsu. Back at Konoha, Tasumi was making her way. As she had a headache. As she felt queasy. As she arrived towards her clan compound. The moment she got inside, she rushed to the bathroom as she barfed. She came back out as she properly rinsed her mouth and drank some water. Perhaps she ate some bad meat or something while with the girls. As she shook it off, she felt rather tired, even though it wasn't that long of a day. She decides to get some rest though. She has not spoken to Naruto since the incident that happened between them. At first she was confused when she had woken up in his place, but the members came back rushing so hard, and she realized what happened, and also a few things that she was praying that he did not remember when she confessed her feelings to him. After all these years, she wanted to keep those to herself because she was good friends with Kushina, and she never wanted to betray her like that. After all, Ainuzaka was always loyal, but she just couldn't help her feelings and in her drunken stupor. What the hell was she thinking? Being there with him by herself. She should have known that something as stupid as this would happen, but she never knew that they would actually sleep together. She sighed. She wondered if he told anyone. No, he wouldn't do that. He's not that kind of guy. But what was she gonna do? She felt so guilty even though she was a grown woman, and Kushina was no longer with him, but there was a girl code. After all, they didn't end on a good term, and here she come, screwing things up. If Kushina found out, it would make things so awkward. But guys, to be in subscribe right here. For what's the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications as they posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.